Okay, so you know what? I had an idea here. Instead of just going through all of these oh-so-wonderful Guild War battles that I honestly can't even remember because this is from the beginning of the week, how about we go through all of this fantastic fun shenanigans while also taking an edible? What could possibly go wrong? So, we'll get started now and we'll see just how far we get until everything just doesn't make any sense. So, for starters here, this first Guild War that we pretty much go into, a whole bunch of this is just straight up RGB nightmares. Like, I think about the entire guild that we went into under the big towers were all RGBs, which RGB is good. If you're ever fighting a defense that's on RGB, you feel like you don't have as many like options to go into it because one, you have to have something that'll tank the green, one that'll tank the blue, and one that'll tank the red. At least if you think about it from like say a turn 2 perspective. So I'm going into this already, and I'm taking one hell of a fucking beating on my ML Landy already. And Shazam, we are 8 turns in, and ML Landy is already fucking dead. Damn, son, I'm really fucking good at this game. Fortunately for us, we decided to bring a Destina, a Shuna, so that's 2 healers, and just happy-go-lucky, super happy fun time healing, and we were able to kind of recover from this point. So, thankfully, the Illynav wasn't super fast. We were able to get, like, our turns in to make this stuff work out. I wasn't paying super close attention, but I'm assuming I probably put some units to sleep at the very beginning with Shuna. Shuna is actually mad-based. She's a really, really fun unit, and I usually bring her almost all the time going into an ae-KARINA. The main reason why I do that is because the ae-KARINA is always going to go into your red unit, and that's a healer as well. Shuna is also, like, pretty based as a healer in general. Her S1 is always going to do some healing. Her S2 does a HP basically redirect or redistribution. So if you ever have a metric shitload of HP on like a bunch of big tanky kind of units, you can kind of redistribute that HP. And if you have her on Diene's artifact, it also is like a pretty decent heal, and it also gives you some free ER as well. But either way, that's my justification for using Shuna. Shuna's pretty fun. Very, very fun to use to go into, like, say, ae-KARINA. And ae-KARINA is really, really, really hyper-cancer, like what we've been fighting lately, because a lot of the stuff that you're fighting is she's on the team, but she's not necessarily the triple threat. She's there for when other stuff takes damage, and then as soon as they go below half health, then she has death buff, and she has, I believe, a 3-turn cooldown on her S3, which is kind of fucking ridiculous. So she's gonna go mad quick, and she also gives herself speed buff, so she zooms on that CR bar every now and then, man. So, thankfully, we were able to recover from, like, the big hits that we took here, and also the Illynav really didn't do too terribly much. I was kind of expecting the Illynav was going to go kind of nuts with, like, Elbrus procs and the like. Didn't really happen, but hey, whatevs. Let's go ahead and move on. So, this one right here, I was informed by my oh-so-lovely guild that likes to tell me very base information of, hey guys, lol, Mort's not on Holy Sack, free Straze. So then I was like, oh, okay, free Straze unit, you say? Well, let's go ahead and bring Ahmed, Yulha, and Straze into that, and basically, that's exactly what happens. So Ahmed goes, you know, pretty high up on the bar. She didn't go absolutely first, but she went high enough to where it doesn't really matter. Yulha's the only target that's going to be for Winter, so nothing big there. Mort was going to be the highest HP, because ain't no fucking way that an Aria is ever going to have more HP than a Mort. If that ever happens, well, damn. That's just going to be some of the weirdest shit you'll ever experience, because an Aria is either going to be an effect res monster with, like, really, really high def, or she's going to be, like, some absurdly tanky-ass unit, just some crazy shit. But the cool thing about Straze is, yo, he just straight up ignores effect resist, even if you have a lot of effect resist, if he has higher attack than you on the S2. So, 1, we use Straze to murder the Mort. 2, we use Straze to strip the Aria, so we don't have to deal with any counterattack shenanigans. And we had Yulha there, strictly to just tank the Winter. Hoorah! That feels fucking great. Let's see what was next. Okay, so this was a Conqueror Lilias, a yet another Illynav, and also Landy. So what I did was, I'm going to bring Celine, and we're going to see who it's going to go for. It should be Landy, because she tends to have the highest HP, or no, not the highest HP, the highest attack, and it went for her. She didn't have a high enough HP threshold to survive the Celine attack, which was the only reason why Politis was still with me. The reason why Politis was there was strictly just in case I can't kill the Landy, to kill the Landy. So, let's say, for example, the Celine did not kill the Landy, or she didn't hit her or anything like that. The Politis is there to get rid of the stealth. And then Benimaru's turn would then come around, and you could use him to just straight up murder the Landy. So, with that pretty much being said, you know, we're less than 5 turns in, and pretty much the whole team is utterly fucked. So, Conqueror Lilias procs Benimaru by getting an extra turn, and then all the fun happens because Celine also does all of her shenanigans off of non-attack skills. Hoorah! Now, on to some more RGB fucking nightmares. So, this is a Kise, a red Lilias, and a Senya. I can't even remember if I won these fights or not. Seriously, bear with me here. I'm trying to remember all this stuff. This was over a week ago. But I brought Yulha simply because I knew that there was going to be a red unit going into her. She was going to be able to tank a very, very big portion of that damage. I brought Destina just because of that last match where we had to do a fucking emergency revive on the ML Landy. And now we have ML Landy just because she's a very, very safe DPS type of pick. That's the main reason why I've been picking her a lot of the time, is just because you just throw her on DPS and you just kind of don't give a shit. It's kind of baffling. But I'll tell you what's not too fun is the fact that I think the Kise just straight up keeps going into my Landy and she's critting me. You guys know that Landy has 70% crit resist. That's just an innate thing that's about her. She just straight up has it. And lucky me, she keeps ending up critting me. Now, the good news is we didn't get fucking killed right there. We could have very easily gotten killed at that particular moment. But we were able to pull through and survive. But then also, hey, Elbrus and a lot of counter shenanigans are also proccing. Which, this is like the thing with Landy, man. Sometimes counter shenanigans happen, and you just straight up fucking win. Because any and all hits that you get on Landy, it's just straight up a free fucking win. And then other times, nothing fucking happens. Oh, hey, looky there, the match is over because we got lucky with ML Landy procs. Thanks, Elbrus, you the best. Ah, fuck.
Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Okay, so I deserve this. So, basically what was going on in my head right here was, oh, okay, so Diene, Alencia, and a Holiday Yufine. Okay, Holiday Yufine, she does debuffs, right? I'll just have her go into my Ed, and my Ed will just proc all kinds of wonderful equivalent exchanges. This should pretty much give you guys a nice heads up that I hardly ever fight Holiday Yufine. I don't fucking use Holiday Yufine, and I know next to nothing about her fucking kit. So, okay, so what's wrong with this situation? Well, basically what we're dealing with here is we're trying to, like, do hyper-coping of, oh, the Alencia is going to go into the Taranor Royal Guard, so she's going to be taking reflect damage. Now, the problem with this is Alencia doesn't do big damage. What she does is she goes in like little bit at a time and kind of grinds away at the team. And the other problem is this right here. You happen to notice that? Holiday Yufine really doesn't have very heavy debuffs. She can only burn on her S1, and it's really not as high as you might be thinking. I think it's like a 50%, so that might be like a plus 25%, so it might be a 75% with Molas. So either way you look at it, that ain't high. That ain't high at fucking all. And because of that, we're essentially inting hardcore right now. Because, one, we're going into sustain. The sustain is just going to straight up heal up any and all damage that's going to go onto the Alencia. And the Holiday Yufine is just not going to be proccing equivalent exchange because it's, one, it's not consistent for her to even land a debuff. Two, that's the only debuffer on the team, really, because the Alencia is not going to go into Ed. He's a green unit. He's a red unit. She's a green unit. And Shazam, hey, look, our Taranor Royal Guard's already dead. And there's next to really nothing that we can do about this to try and recover. This is straight up fucking hardcore inting. Like, that's 100% what this is. Because we're dealing with crit resist that Dienne's going to be putting out, so that's just even more, like, tank ability that the Alencia is going to have. The Alencia straight up gives herself death buff, and this is also an HP recovery EE Alencia. Like, on Stomp, she can actually recover a little bit of HP. So that's what this guy's using right here, which, hey, if you're building a wall and it's on defense, it's a pretty damn good idea to do that. I kind of came into this expecting, oh, this is probably going to be an injury thing. But hey, even if it was, I would just be dead even fucking faster. Because, straight up, my Ed's not getting procced. There's no equivalent exchanges happening. There's also... my Ed is not very strong. My Ed is tanky. He is not strong. Which, if I had... oh, I don't know, maybe a little bit of fucking IQ that wasn't, you know, around fucking room temperature, I would have, perhaps, an injury Ed. That is probably the best version of Ed that you could really have. The problem with that is just how high of, like, gear score you're really gonna need to get that running. You're gonna have a lot of stats on an injury Ed, because, like, I'm rocking a speed set, and I barely have the damage on what I have. You can just say, like, hey, that's a me problem, that's a gear problem, LOL, your gear fucking sucks. Yeah, I get it. But, yeah, if I was injury, then I would be able to at least grind down the team a little bit. Now... moving on. Oh, hey, look, it's Laika. Did you know that this bitch sleeps with this massive fucking nuke that she does at the start? I know, right? That's like the weirdest shit ever. But we have Landy on the team. What does Landy do? She is immune to stun and sleep, because that's really fucking fair. And we also have Troublemaker, Crozet, and Roana here. Roana is strictly in the back row for two reasons. One thing that you may or may not know about Roana is, do you know that you can actually manipulate the shield that she's going to give? Yeah, it's actually something that you can do. Anytime a unit, doesn't even matter if it's her, if there's any unit in the back row, whoever has the lowest HP is the one who always gets the shield. But if everybody is at the same value of health, it will always prioritize whoever's in the back row. So, naturally, oh, okay, that sounds like a pretty cool idea, and the only thing I'm even remotely worried about on this particular team is if the Illynav just goes fucking mad crazy. So what we'll do is we'll put the Illynav on... we'll put the Illynav's bait, which is going to be Roana, we'll stick that in the back row, and then we'll protect that with Troublemaker Crozet. So, with that said... we straight up really don't have anything to worry about. The worst thing that could possibly happen to us is if that Aria got really, really lucky with really bad debuffs. Like, for example, she could have gotten us with, like, some Death Down shenanigans or anything like that, and then the Illynav could possibly react with a counterattack, Elbrus shenanigans, you know, all that fun shit. You know, all that really, really mad good shit that you always like to see on fucking counter particular teams. Yeah, maybe that's a sign that I should perhaps invest in an Astromancer Elena. Possibly. Seems like it's probably a really good fucking idea. I still haven't done it because gearing's annoying. I really don't have, like, a better answer for you, but basically the whole point of this team that we got going right here, Troublemaker Crozet's basically defending against next level fucking everything. You can give defense buff and crit resist to Landy, which straight up makes crits a non-fucking issue. Landy's gonna do all the fucking damage, and Roana was there strictly to just debate the Illynav and to deal with the Aria additional attack shenanigans for the sake of healing. Now, take a good long look at that Straze. I recently just changed him not too long ago. I decided to finally bite the bullet, and I got my I got all my bottles together, and I took Benimaru's Taichi and I plussed that bitch up to 30. Unfortunately, the one thing in particular is we don't see that in really any of the fights that I had this week. Kind of fucking sucks, but, like, hey, everything was, like, running speed shit or, like, stuff that I couldn't really even straze. Like, so, hey, that's just kind of how we're dealing with it. And then I took my other Benimaru Taichi, I took it off Benimaru, and I decided to give him Rimuru's artifact, and then we decided to throw that Benimaru Taichi onto Inferno Kawazu. Once again, another unit that was not used this week. Cool. Why am I telling you this? Well, probably because that's on the docket of things to do in the near future. Hopefully, it'll work out. I really hope it will be a worthy of my investment, because that was 5 bottles, and 5 bottles take a next level long amount of fucking time to get. Now, hopefully, we'll learn our lesson from what we did today, where there was no reason to end as stupidly as we did. But hey, here's hoping, like, the next time, maybe something a little bit better would happen. But hey, if you guys like this video, go on ahead and leave a like, and if you want to see more of my content, hit subscribe. This is it, isn't it? Well, fucking shit. So it seems like we have yet another video. And yeah, basically we're going to be fighting some ML Landys today. Something that I was actually quite excited to do. Of course, it's not in the first round. Now, speaking of oh-so-wonderful fun shit, to those of you watching the screen, you're probably already really confused or trying to figure out what I'm even doing. Basically, it keeps telling me that somebody is actually trying to enter the battle. And nobody was. I love that wonderful fucking glitch. But either way, we just said, fuck it, let's go into it. So, this is Conqueror Lilias Senya Choux. Probably the one version of the Senya Choux comp that I genuinely hate the most. The only reason why I hate it the most is just because it feels like it's got a lot more volatility in the matchup itself that you're doing. So, for this one in particular, you're looking at a typical Gab, this is a typical Gab Senya. So, Gab Senya's strong. She do lots of damage. She more than likely has Spear of New Dawn. I'm pretty positive this one also still has Spear of New Dawn. And the general consensus is usually to kill the Choux first. Now, the reason why we need to kill the Choux first is because Choux likes to do big boy fucking retarded ass damage. Now, we're probably going to see that big boy retarded-ass damage, and the thing that also kind of really low-key pisses me the fuck off is I have crit resist. I just got crit. Fucking twice. Right there. So, that was one hell of a big fucking hit that we just took already. Oh, hey, cool, another crit. Boy, I'm having a lot of fucking fun. So, right here, we got mad lucky with, like, all of the attacks that Landy was able to do. We already have ship. This does absurd fucking damage. But, of course, none of those hits fucking crit. L-O fucking L. So, my crit resist don't ever work, because fuck you and your left side horse shit. This is right side. Right side is always better than left side. Go eat a dick. So, naturally, at first I'm still thinking, okay, I can probably still win. Like, I'm not too worried yet, but I'm still taking a lot of abuse from the Senya, and then, of course, that shit keeps happening, and, oh, hey, cool, looky there, I'm fucking dead. So, great. Fortunately for us, we were already able to get a ship anchor off, so with that, we did an absurd amount of damage. We were able to stun a few of the units as well, took out a little bit of the tempo that was on the team, you know, did the big-ass damage in general. And now you're watching probably the thing that I hate the most about Conqueror Lilias, and just why I hate the Conqueror Lilias Senya Choux team in general. We're just wasting our time now. Like, yeah, we dealt with the 2 threats, and we have 2 units here. Like, the Conqueror Lilias cannot win. We have Sustain on the left, as well as ML Landy. But the thing is that's super fucking annoying about this shit is she just turn cycles so fucking goddamn fast and just gives, you know, herself barriers, gives attack down to the units on the other side, which is a non-attack skill, by the way, which also reduces your buff durations by 1. How the fuck is this fucking unit not nerfed yet? It's been like 2 fucking goddamn years. How the hell is this goddamn unit not nerfed yet? And I can even think of a really easy way you could nerf her right now. It's not gonna fucking have too much of an effect, but it would at least be interesting in RTA. Give her the Cerise treatment, where, like, straight up she doesn't have access to dual attack shenanigans via her S1 until she uses her S3. Then that way, in RTA at least, you actually have a Benimaru counter for this fucking bitch. But either way, hey, don't listen to me, I'm a retard. Next match... Oh, hey, goody. We get to fight some Ran, ae-KARINA, and Mercedes shenanigans. So, this already looks bad. See the RNL? It's not as bad as you might think. So basically, we have Destina and Zahhak here with us. So yeah, naturally we lost our Sinful Angelica. So we lost our means of basically killing the Mercedes in one shot. The only thing that could have gone wrong here is if the Mercedes was on like an absurdly tanky set. So if it was, that probably would have really fucked me over. But thankfully for us, that Mercedes was actually more on like a typical DPS type of build. And because of that, now, this is the other fun thing. Always make sure if you're unsure of your turn orders and you have revive shenanigans, always check your top left corner. So what that just did was I brought Sinful Angelica back. She was just high enough on the CR bar where she cuts the Mercedes, because she was at like 92 and I think the Mercedes was at like 88 or some shit. So now you're able to use your Sinful Angelica, use your S3. This will, sure, it feels like it's a waste because you don't do the mechanics of Soul Harvest anymore. However, it still really, really works out in your favor for two reasons. One, you basically just have free dual attacks with whoever your highest attacking unit is, this case being Zahhak, and her S3 gives speed buff and attack buff to the entire fucking team except for herself. So what that pretty much translates to is, hey, I'm gonna go and fucking kill you. And it works without a fucking hitch. Hoorah. So let's see what this next one is. Okay, so it's a Conqueror Lilias and probably some annoying-ass shit that I don't really care about. Okay, yeah. Actually, no, I do care about this. This is Conqueror Lilias, Choux, and ML Landy. This is the first time I've actually seen ML Landy on defense. I was kind of astonished that I haven't really seen her being spammed on defense yet. But then again, she does have a pretty distinct weakness. And that being that she is prime fucking Dark Corvus fodder. Now, if you don't have Dark Corvus, I can understand, like, your predicament in this particular situation. The thing is, if you have, like, any other means of dealing very, very large amounts of damage via non-crit, like, Huiyang can work here. You would just have to be rocking a Torrent set. You would have to also have absurdly low HP. But then, of course, you're going into a Choux as well. So Huiyang feels like she's kind of not as dangerous. But, like, right here, we have straight up gone, not even, like, 10 turns, and the ML Landy's already dead. Like, Dark Corvus straight up farms the ever-loving shit out of her. It's probably her worst matchup. And I'll tell you why. So, the reason why Dark Corvus is the absolute worst matchup for ML Landy is because, ML Landy is light. So, ML Landy is going to be going into Dark Corvus. Now, let's just say she gets a follow-up attack. Okay, so that's one crit, and then that's also an extra attack, which is also a crit. That's like 4 turns on your Devil's Descent already. And that was just like opening turn. So, I'm starting to think we may not really be seeing her on defense. Now, if I was going to be doing an ML Landy defense, and, like, you know, I had my stuff properly made because I'm, you know, not a retard, except, unfortunately, I am a retard, the thing that I would go for would probably be something along the lines of a ML Landy on, like, a counter Elbrus set, a Bellion on an Elbrus with injury, and then whoever your last unit is. In this particular case, I would probably say Unbound Knight Arrowell. Now, the reason why I would go with that team is, one, you have a full light team, because straight up, for some fucking reason, we have anti-dark units, but we don't really have anything for anti-light yet. Have you guys fucking noticed that shit? We have, like, you know, Little Queen Charlotte, but she's, like, you know, the premier super racist that goes up against dark units. And then, like, I think the only dark unit that we have that is meant to, like, you know, murder light units is Axe God. And apparently, I've heard he ain't doing so hot because SG, like, fucked up his rework yet again. It's something ridiculous, like how he scales off HP, but he has, like, a bunch of attack shit on his kit or whatever. But either way, that doesn't really help you too much going into fucking Bellion. But, like, whatever. Let's move on. So, hey, look, it's one of these teams again. So it's Ran, Apocalypse Ravi, and Mercedes. Now, I'm essentially going to do the exact same fucking thing, and this Ran is actually on Silver Rain here, and also does a fairly decent amount of damage to my Zahhak, because, you know, element disadvantage just isn't a fucking thing. I'm just gonna, like, hey, blue beats green, whatevs. It's all good. Yeah, you can just flood the forests with water. That's how it works. Makes a lot of sense. But either way, we have attack buff. We were able to just go into the Mercedes, bam. Because we have Soul Harvest, she's dead. She's not going to be revived. So now all we have to do is we just have to go into the Ran and the Apocalypse Ravi. Now, fortunately for us, the Apocalypse Ravi is only going to go into Sinful Angelica. The main reason why, even though we don't have a light bait, is because I planned for her to be the lowest HP. And it pretty much happened without a hitch. So now that she was the lowest HP, the A-Ravi's only going to go into her, and everything should be hunky-dory. And right here, we just give ourselves a refresh of attack buff, and you soul burn the S1. Because whenever you soul burn Zahhak's S1, you do a metric fucking shitload of damage to compounds with his already base mechanic of doing more damage to a buffed enemy. Oh, good. So, I guess I ran out of, like, big towers, and I think I had to fight, like, another one that was, like, a random one. And I think I went for whatever had ML Landy in it. So, ML Landy's on team 2. Now, I go into this with some typical, like, non-attack skill shenanigans with Celine. What I was expecting to happen was the Zahhak was going to go first, and Zahhak has bad AI, so he'll use his S2 first, which will then proc my Celine. Thankfully, that actually didn't happen, because if anything, Zahhak might have boosted the Spirit Eye Celine, which then kind of would have ruined my plan. But either way, everything works out. We killed the Zahhak immediately on turn 1, and we happen to have all of our units faster than the Spirit Eye Celine, so if you ever have enough units that are faster than a Spirit Eye Celine, and you use 2 attacks to go into her, it's free. Because she has damage limiting, but if there's no damage mitigation or barriers of any kind on the actual team, Spirit Eye Celine is weak as fuck. So I brought Briar Witch just in case Spirit Eye Celine was able to get a turn off for the sake of reviving shenanigans. But hey, that didn't happen either. And I decided to bring Spectre Tenebria because I never use Spectre Tenebria. In fact, I almost never have her geared. Now, on to Team 2. So this is another ML Landy team. In fact, it's actually the same fucking team. It's Conqueror, Lilias, Choux, and ML Landy. Once again, I'm not worried about this team, and I'm going to show you why. So yeah, Dark Corvus is already like a mad fucking crazy counter to Landy on defense, mainly because, like, you know, light units going into darks and all that other shit. So here's another thing that's really, really bad for ML Landy is if you have Leaf on your team as well, because what she's going to do is she's going to do massive amounts of fucking damage to the bitch immediately. All you have to do is just go into her once with the S1, and then hopefully you'll wrap around fast enough so that you can get your next turn in. You're definitely going to be faster than the Landy. Landys are usually rocking almost no speed. And with that, you just give your free soul burn of your S2, and then you just go into her again. Shazam! The unit is dead. Now, the only thing that can possibly stop that is, like, say, an Unbound Knight Arrowwell, but the problem also arises in the fact that Leaf has Frostbite that's in her kit. So, because she has Frostbite, unless you have a cleanse on that team in some way, shape, or form, you're probably going to be dealing with Frostbite. So this is pretty much why I'm feeling like ML Landy, as crazy as she is and as good of a unit as she is, well, she very well may not be showing up on defense, and I think this is the main reason why. I think we have just too many, like, easy answers to deal with her on defense, so she's really not that much of a threat. Still, it kind of sucks because, like, she has just such an absolutely cracked kit. How many units are there really that just kind of deal with her in the sense of, like, doing critical damage? Because she has just so much crit resist on her anyway. Do you really want to take that risk of going into her for the sake of doing big damage? Like, you can't Straze her. Well, fuck, you can't Straze her in general anyway, because Straze, like, functions off of how much higher his attack is than the other units, and more than likely, even after, like, say, 1 or so turns, she's gonna have more attack than you. But, like, either way, the only other thing that, like, ML Landy I've kind of at least noticed on defense is if you just have, like, some form of decent control for her, like, yeah, you don't have access to stun and sleep, but if you have access to silence, and if you have access to provoke and redirect provoke, pretty much, she can't do anything to you. Like, she just can't. Like, unless there's cleanse on the team, she's not a threat. like, I was actually kind of baffled by looking at the actual, like, matchup going into an ML Landy. She's not scary. Like, she's not scary in the slightest, at least from, like, what I'm dealing with right now. Now, maybe ML Landy with, like, an Injury Rebellion on the team, that might be annoying as fuck, but I think you might still be able to do enough damage quickly enough before injury really piles up on your characters to, like, go into her. Yeah, the biggest weakness is the fact that I'm using like HP scaling units, so if they get injured, it's going to hurt them a lot. The good news is I think that really isn't as bad as you might think. I've done it a couple of times in Arena, like going up against ML Landy teams and like an Injury Rebellion as well, and I've been able to make it work. So in Guild War, I think it'll just be even easier. Either way, fuck this. Please like and subscribe or whatever.
What the hell is this?
Oh god fucking damn it. Okay, fine. This should be the last one, and then we'll go ahead and we'll call it a wrap for the day. But either way, hey, looky here, another Conqueror Lilias team. And, oh, looky there, guys, it's ML Landy yet again. And also ae-KARINA. So, pretty much what I was talking about before, like, if you want to feel, like, mad mega safe going into an ML Landy, and it's, like, on defense or whatever, yo, just pull out your Dark Corvus. I'm more than willing to bet that a lot of you may or may not... I think you would have him, because he's a Season 1 ML. Of course, it's kind of bad for me to assume that you have, like, an ML5. But hey, the other good news is, if you wanted to, you could pick him as your free ML5 from, like, that oh-so-wonderful event. But, like, if you want to get anywhere, really, in the game of Epic 7 when it comes to, like, PvP shenanigans, you should probably pick Spectre Tenebria, because Spectre Tenebria is actually fucking retarded, but hey, I get it. But either way, like, if I were to also fight this team, I could throw Lethe at it, because Lethe would work. The issue for why I didn't want to do that is, one, I'm dealing with ae-KARINA on this team, and ae-KARINA, if she ever gets away from you and just starts doing death break shenanigans, like, at one point, I attempt to provoke the ae-KARINA with my Dark Corvus, because I'm like, fuck it, I'm bored. I need to get more Devil's Descent so I can get this shit over quicker. Now, the thing that was wrong with me trying that is, when you do that, you take a metric fucking shitload of damage. So, like, for example, we just took 7k right there. Like, that was, like, about 7k. And then we're about to get hit by yet another attack right here, because that's a free dual attack. Oh yeah, cool. Now we've taken, like, close to 10k. So we're already at below half health. And we still have Death Break on us. So let's not provoke that ae-KARINA again to go into the Dark Corvus, because I actually need to fucking heal right now. So that's the one big thing that you always have to do, keep aware of when it comes to ae-KARINA and shenanigans. Like I said, the Landy wasn't a threat, but honestly, I can't think of too many, like, good answers to going into ML Landy as of right now. Like, some people have been doing some really, really memey shit with, like, with units that also do reflect damage. I think that edible's starting to kick in. Shit. Oh fuck. But either way, I can't think of anything at the moment right now, like another really great unit to fight ML Landy with. You could do some Yulha shenanigans to her. The only problem is, it's like, hey, what's the rest of the team gonna be going into your Yulha? Like, do you have, like, a very decent red unit that's gonna go into her that's gonna deal a lot of damage so that you can build up the S3 quick enough so you can just go into her? Like, those are, like, the other kind of, like, factors that you have to really, really think of. I would attempt to maybe do some Taranor Royal Guard shenanigans, but I think I would only try that if I also had a Dominil and I had, like, you know, respectable gear on Dominil, because her whole thing is about reflect. The only thing that sucks about Dominil in that particular situation is the fact that her whole kit's based off of RNG. Otherwise, she just has, like, really shitty chances at stunning. Like, I don't know why the fuck they reworked Dominil to turn her S2 into a fucking passive. I really think they should change it back to where it's a skill that you can use. But, like, hey, whatevs, I ain't on the balance team. So, hey, you want to look at something that actually, like, succeeds but is actually genuinely not a good fucking idea? Case in point, that's what we're looking at right now. So it's Ran, Mercedes, and Zio. So Zio's going to immediately go into the Edward Elric first. He'll do a metric fucking shitload of damage, but this also triggers equivalent exchange, which then kind of, like, puts us back at the same spot that we were at on the CR bar. Now, the problem is, if that Mercedes decided to go absolutely fucking hamhocks crazy, she might have actually fucking killed me whenever I had that death break. Now, sure, Troublemaker Crozet's there. He would have taken a lot of that damage as well. But whenever you have death break, you take just a shitload of fucking damage from that. And you even run a risk of like, oh, hey, cool, so Troublemaker Crozet and Ed are dead. Awesome. But now, thankfully for us, we were able to survive the first real wave, because that was the thing that was really going to be the decider. It's like, hey, does the Ran death break me, and does the Ran RNL me? You know, shit like that. And turns out we were able to get through that without a hitch, and now that we've gotten through that part, and we've also killed the Mercedes now, okay, cool, we win, essentially. So all we have to do now is just kill the Ran, and then we'll eventually kill the Zeo. The Zeo is on damage, but he's not doing enough damage to, like, really be a threat. Like, not really. So all we have to do is just kind of bide our time until we get our chance, and then we'll just kill the Zeo. So what you could have done for this instead, like, I could have brought Doris into this, and probably, like, any kind of reviver, something like that. I could have brought, like, almost anything except for Ed. I could have brought probably some Yulha shenanigans into this as well. Something that I've noticed I've been doing a lot of lately. I've been using a lot more Yulha than I initially, like, was planning to, because, like, I mainly just have her there on Aureus for the sake of soaking up damage. That's really the only reason why she's there. I hardly ever use her S3 whenever I could really do it, and whatevs. That's just how it is. Oh, hey, cool. The other Ran fight that really kind of pisses me off. So, this is Ran, Senya, and Mercedes. So, what you're going to see happen is, you know, typical blue beating green, because, you know, blue is better than green. And right here, we go into the Ran, get rid of the skill null, and now we have plenty of buffs. So we should be able to kill a unit of our choice. Now here I'm weighing my options. So we have Mercedes there, Magic for Friends could proc. We could try to kill the Senya now, but we don't know her health. So I decide, hey, let's go for Ran. I don't want to deal with any more of his bullshit. Now, Magic for Friends procs. Guess what? Rimru's fucking dead. Now that Rimru's dead, all we have left is Lone Crescent Bellona. And with Lone Crescent Bellona at the absurdly low fucking HP that she's at, because, well, she was death broken too, boys, and she took that big-ass damage from Magic for Friends, and because of that, well, sure, we have invincibility right now because of Elena, but very, very soon, we ain't gonna have that invincibility anymore. Case in point, check out this shit right here that happens. So we get our turn, and I decide, okay, we need Vigor, because Vigor is going to at least give us a little bit of def, so that we can try to tank a little bit more, and hopefully we'll do enough damage that we'll get a big heal on our Golden Rose. Unfortunately for us, that did not fucking happen. We got almost next to near fucking nothing when it came to health. I need to really change my Lone Crescent Bellona set. And because of that, we lose. There's nothing that we can really do to win at that point. Now, on to this next team. So pay attention right here, because we end up fighting this very same team again in another segment, and I'll let you be the judge of what actually happens for the sake of, oh wow, what the fuck? How'd you lose? So basically, this is the key deciding factor right here. Take notice. The Rimuru was not silenced, but some other units were silenced. Now, what we want to have happen is for Rimuru to do the big boy damage into the crowd. Either him to do the big boy damage, or for the ae-KARINA to do the big boy damage. This is kind of like a very, very good example of why I usually bring Shuna into an ae-KARINA. And also why I always bring Crow into Rimuru's. Because Rimuru is just super easy to bait with Crow, and Crow does the big boy damage whenever he gets the opportunity. Now, here, fortunately for us, hey, the ae-KARINA is still silenced, so the ae-KARINA can't really do her big girl damage, and we were able to go into her like bit by bit. Now, we've actually fortunately taken a lot of damage, but we have not died yet, so now we have our free reign to go into the ae-KARINA, and then we'll just go ahead and kill her. Now, keep in mind of this. This was all really, really fucking lucky. And the reason why I brought Landy was just because I wanted to. I was using ML Landy a lot, so I wanted to just kind of like take my green Landy out of retirement to just try her out real quick. Either way, that's not the problem for like why we lose. It's not Landy. The reason why we lost is because we brought Ocean Breeze Lilica with us, and we were basically just counting on certain things to be silenced and certain things to not be silenced. Now, like I said, we'll get to that point where we see this very same team again, and I'll show you exactly like what goes wrong and why shit doesn't work. But like here, everything worked out because the Rimuru did their attack, they'd got their big damage in, but the ae-KARINA was blocked from being able to do anything for a while. So we didn't have to take two really, really big-ass hits one after the other. And that's pretty much why we were able to win. Like, right here, the Rimuru's taking absurd damage, and hey, cool, whatevs, we have a horse with us. Fuck it, just throw it out there into the ether and we'll kill this sumbitch. And Shazams. That's another fight now. Unfortunately, we lost to some next level stupid shit, but like, hey, what can you do? I'm a fucking retard like that. So now, onto this last one right here. So here is Ran, Mercedes, and Senya, and I decided, oh, what the fuck? Let's just bring ML Landy in to have oh so wonderful amounts of fun with this team through Elbrus procs and shenanigans. That's pretty much what happens, because, one, we have ML Landy here, we have Diene here, who doesn't have as much ER as you would expect. My Diene fucking sucks. Like, I actually need to rebuild her in so many different ways, because she doesn't have the ER to, like, really be a threat. I could have easily been fucking stripped there, I could have easily been killed there at any point. It could have been bad. Hell, I could have been fucking provoked by the Senya, for fuck's sake. But, of course, my immunity didn't get stripped. Now, with that being said, we have attack buff, and we have crit buff, or crit resist on our Landy, and we have basically two healers with us, both of them being able to cleanse, and one of them being able to CR boost, and one of them also being able to attack the other team with sleep shenanigans, which doesn't happen because, hey, fuck this game. But either way, we haven't even gotten to Landy's S3 yet. In fact, we don't get to. Like, right here, we can do it, but the Senya is going to have to go into us for a couple of more turns before Landy gets her chance, and the odds of a Elbrus happening are kind of fucking high. Sure, she's only going to go into my Diene, but my Diene's like thick enough and tanky enough that it's really not going to like fucking kill me. But like, yeah, you see that right there where I got that provoke? That's exactly what I was talking about. I have no fucking effect res. My Diene sucks. And now on to the last fight. So, remember what I was talking about before? We were going to fight this team again. So, here you fight, you're going to see basically the exact same thing happen, only the difference is, whenever we hit them with the ice cream truck, they're all going to be blind, and they're all going to be silenced. This actually fucks us up. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, why does it fuck you up? Everything should be fine. Your Landy should be popping off. You got plenty of buffs on there. You should be able to do lots and lots of damage that'll kill this team, easy peasy. But here's the problem. So, now, the two units that are problematic going to be doing lots of damage are going to hit me at the same fucking time. So, yeah, take a damn good look at the shit that's about to go down. So, we have Death Break on us right now, and the Lilias, being the oh-so-wonderful fun bitch that she is just going to do every fucking drag into Crow anyway. And also, that CR boost that Ocean Breeze Lilica gave Crow sure as fuck didn't help, because now would be one hell of a fucking time to activate Siegfried, which is almost making me consider, man, I should really like just redo my Crow set. What if he was on a revenge set? Then he'd be zooming up that bar like a motherfucker, and then you wouldn't have dumb shit like this happen. So basically, what happened was the Rimuru put me at absurdly low HP on my Crow. Then the ae-KARINA killed me with like a standard S1, and then after I came back with Holy Sack, then she fucking killed me again because that S3 hurts like a motherfucker. But, either way, that's just kind of like the game that you play with, like what I was doing there. I was just, it was the weekend. I was really, really tired. Like this was whenever I was out of town, and I was just yo, I needed a vacation from home. So I went out of town to go and hang out with a friend of mine. I decided to do all of my Guild War shenanigans stuff on Friday. And I just so happened to be at his place then. So, hey, cool, works out. And then, lo and behold, I get RNG'd whenever I'm, you know, not home. I mean, hey, it's my fault anyway. I picked, like, a really, really stupid team into that. Like, about every time that I end up using Ocean Breeze Lilica, I generally find that I'm just not as impressed with the things that she does. Like, I'm not happy with her healing. I'm not happy with her cleansing. I'm not happy with her turn cycling. I really need to strip that bitch and just put her on a speed ER set. Like, the answer's not counter. Counter just doesn't work. If anything, you should probably be as fast as humanly possible on Ocean Breeze and also, like, have as much effect resist as possible. Then that way you can guaranteed cut against, like, some crazy fast shit and things of that nature. But, like, I mean, hey, yeah, you talk a lot of shit about your characters, Luce, but why aren't you making your characters? Well, that takes a lot of time. And I'm really fucking lazy. So, hey, the secret's out. But either way, man, I hope all of you guys greatly enjoyed this video. I hope you did. And if you did like it, please go ahead and leave me a like. If you want to see more of my content, please subscribe. Hope to see y'all again soon. Later.